Greetings, campers! This is Matt Patrick. Well, it's been a while since I did a top 10 video, so before we meet the new cast in Season 4, I think it only makes sense to talk about the first official generation of Disventure Camp. To give you a recap what the show is about, Disventure Camp is a lot like Total Drama Island. Instead of a group of teenagers competing for $1 million, it's a variety of people from the youngest to oldest, some from North America or other parts of the world. But ever since the web show was released, it ended up receiving a massive popularity as Total Drama. And in return, some of their characters received a lot of recognition, and they have been dubbed as someone's favorite player. They not only had to pass through a series of challenges, but they also tried to battle their own personal struggles and become the best players they can be. And let me tell you, finding the best contestant was really hard to choose. Now for this top 10, I'm going to pick the best Disventure Camp contestants from seasons 1 through 3. Unlike the other top 10 Total Drama lists, I will allow both heroes and villains on the roster together. I will rank them based on their gameplay performance, character growth, and I will also include their roles outside the competition. Oh, and by the way, there will be some major spoilers on this list, so I highly recommend you watch all the first 3 seasons of Disventure Camp before you continue. If you already caught up to the show, or just don't care about spoilers, well, enjoy the show. So let's take a huge look back over what happened on Camp Tibiskal. This is the top 10 Disventure Camp Contestants! Let's start off this list by talking about the one character that appeared in all 3 seasons. However, he didn't start off as a contestant. Remember in Total Drama where Chris loved to torture his interns just as much as he does to the other players? You could say Oliver went through the same dilemma as them, but there's something very special about him. When it comes to being an intern for reality shows, Oliver had to test every challenge assigned to him to make sure it's safe whether he likes it or not. One of his early years back then was with the vile host he ever worked with, Christoph McLean, the host of the popular reality show, Race to the Place. It left him nothing but bad memories and trauma over working so hard on the challenges with minimal perks or benefits. Soon afterwards, he found another intern job at Disventure Camp where he tested challenges for Season 1. But they kept him until he completed the finale challenge and his contract expired after that. With no jobs or a home to stay, he decided to start his life over as a contestant for Season 2. At first, he was doing a good job. He got along with some of the players and he was the first player to reach the team picking race. But during the first challenge, he was still traumatized from the events from his past, which caused his team to win and he got voted off first. However, he was finally given some luck when Crystal decided to let him stay as an intern again. When he got his job back, he was given special favors from Crystal that he should keep an eye on her to make sure that she doesn't get carried away with her cynical reality persona like her dad.
I want you to tell me every time I say or do something that makes me seem unprofessional.
Sure, Miss Crystal. I will.
It did work for a bit, but Crystal can't help but go to extreme measures with the challenges, or that she's unhappy that Oliver gave the campers some helpful tools. It wasn't until she conducted the challenges herself where she learned all the pain he had to go through when testing them. While she does appreciate him much more than ever, he still wants to make sure that she's okay. Oliver is glad that Crystal is doing some nice things, but he doesn't want her to feel stressed over her hosting role. This newfound friendship promoted Oliver as a production assistant where he decides what challenges should be made and all the guidelines must be followed. If the real Chris McLean were to hire Oliver, he might as well give him a raise for all the help he did.
Will you help me, Oliver?
Of course, Miss Crystal. I would love that.
Out of all the Season 2 contestants, Lake is possibly the most overlooked by many. However, she's actually one of the 3-dimensional characters amongst the cast. Before she joined the show, Lake was raised to be the perfect kid for her parents in Germany. The main problem is that her mother and father were both control freaks to her, always telling her what she should or should not do to extreme levels. How much food she has to eat, what clothes she should wear. There were even some dressing masters that she's never given a say to any, like going to boarding school or marrying a guy that she never met in person. All the things they did to Lake brought nothing but misery and stress. They never gave her the love or support she needed. So much so that it ended up making Lake lose her hair entirely and had to wear a wig.
I'm so sorry, Lake.
She came to Disventure Camp for a small taste of freedom and make some new friends. Her parents did let her join on one condition: she had to continue with her homework while being on the show. While it did cost her some free time, she was still able to form nice connections with Maggie and Rosa Maria. They are the ones that really show what's best for Lake because she has the right to decide what's best for her. She's also known to have a good intuition that there's a good side to many people. When Aiden asked her about Jane saving him from Yule's mushroom trap, she noticed that Jane really does care about him. There's also an interesting parallel between her and Crystal. Crystal only sees her dad on TV, while Lake's parents are always there for her, spreading more paranoia over more controlling features. With this experience, Lake decided to cut the puppet strings and let herself decide continuing forward. No overworking essays, no marriages towards unknown people. Instead, replace her blonde wig with a redhead one because she likes it better. Her newfound freedom felt like a power-up to her, where she was this close to winning immunity in both the ring toss and Nightbirder challenge. And it's really a shame that her game ended so soon on both her debut season and All-Stars. In fact, she's living a happy life after the show as an award-winning novelist and staying in touch with Rosa and her family. She may not be the perfect girl in the world, but Lake is still a gifted person.
Hi, Aiden.
Hey, Lake. That new look fits you amazing.
Thank you.
Now let's talk about love triangles. It's usually the same old gimmick where everybody's arguing on who should be the one for the lucky subject, resulting in a lot of fighting. Disventure Camp, on the other hand, is one of the few exceptions. In Season 2, they focus on the tale of Hunter picking between Allie and Tess, but which is considered the best in the triangle? Well, believe it or not, it's none other than Tess. She didn't really come to the show for $1 million or anything. It was recommended by her psychologist in order to form social connections with others. Back then, Tess didn't really care much or express anything. She never attempted to have a chat with anyone. At one point, Hunter wanted to hang out with her, but it felt like there was an invisible wall that's stopping her from doing so. But in the third episode, The Kiss-a-thon, it's revealed that she was suffering depression that caused her to unleash her vulnerabilities and struggles to an unnecessary degree. She does have treatment pills that work for her, but if she doesn't take them, she may cause some random outbursts. It really is a sad tale for Tess, but she was able to overcome her anxieties. Not only did she get a sense of happiness by kissing Hunter in the same episode, but he also shared his story on how his mom conquered her depression and brought him to the world in the end. This gives Hunter a chance to spend quality time with both Allie and Tess. While the girls didn't start off strong, they still have one thing in common. They have Hunter as their best friend. When the love triangle fiasco was revealed, Tess explained that she does like Hunter, but she's not exactly in love with him. She did ask Allie about what she thinks of him, and the two successfully bonded like sisters.
Do you care about me?
Well, sure. You are my friend.
You and me? Friends?
But the most wholesome moment that Tess ever had in Season 2 was spending her final days with her friends with no worries about the elimination. When she overheard that the majority were targeting her or Allie, Tess was flattered that her friend has everything set up to play games and eat snacks together. So she decided to ignore those worries and let the fun time be worth remembering. Thanks to their friendship, Tess has grown to be much better than ever. She was even the one that let Allie confirm things with Hunter. During All-Stars, she's more happy and expressive than she was last time and has grown to be more helpful regarding some rough situations, including Hunter and Allie's relationship involving the latter's social media, and Ellie being so desperate about winning the game even if it means she might cause some drama on her own team. Although it wasn't easy being stuck in the middle, everyone still sees her as a good friend and never got upset over blindsiding her. Again, she never came for money, it was the friends she made along the way. She's likely to have people like Hunter or Allie, but Tess still left a smile on many people's faces.
How have you been, Tess?
I can't complain.
Most contestants deserve some love, even if some of them are considered wicked. If there's one thing people love to see in reality shows, it's villains. There have been plenty of anime contestants that fill the role as the main antagonist of the season. Even Disventure Camp has a wide variety of villains in 2 seasons, but which ones are considered the best? Well, the first is the self-proclaimed winner, Gret. When she joined the show, she wasn't interested in making friends with anyone, and she wasn't afraid to do a lot of manipulation on her team. First, she persuaded Gabby to join forces with her in exchange for her safety in the game. Next, she stole Drew's notebook and tampered with this so she can trick Tom into voting him off instead of one of the girls. But in return, she exposed his spy identity to Jay, causing a lot of drama between the two. Although Gabby still remains loyal to her and tries to comfort her over her parents neglecting her, she still treats Gabby like dirt.
Okay, calm down.
Just leave me alone.
Despite getting voted out by the teal team, she was given a tiny bit of luck by joining forces with Ali and Fiore on purple. It was the first time that she almost felt right at home. They even gave her immunity at the first individual challenge. But when their alliance was exposed, Greg grew worried about losing the game for good. You see, Greg has a brother that's more successful than her in every way. Her parents can't stop yapping about him, and they never talk about Greg about how she's doing, her time in the game, or anything. That's when she decided to stop thinking about what others think of her, and instead focus on herself. 2 years later, things seem to change Greg for the best. At Disventure Camp All-Stars, she decided to do some exercise and lost a lot of weight because when she looked back on Season 1, she felt bad on how rotten she turned out to be. So she decided to come back to the show where people could see the good side of her. But there was one obstacle that was stopping her from doing so: dating Yule. He and his agent tricked Gret into being a couple so that Yule would get himself uncancelled from all the offensive and terrible things he said to everyone on the show. She does try to help him to ensure both them and the villain's alliance are safe, but Yule just ignores her and keeps being abusive. It wasn't until Gabby decided to stand up for Gret and get rid of this pig once and for all. Not only did she and Gabby officially become friends, but she regained her confidence as a player. She won the rock climbing challenge thanks to her gym training, and she played both the heroes and villain sides by giving Connor the immunity tone, who to play it for and who to target. While her wicked side has returned, she didn't lie about the goodness in her. She formed a special connection with a horse that's about to have 2 offspring, and she didn't want the mother to get hurt during the horseback riding challenge. However, the mama horse decides to join anyway and made it through okay. But before they went their separate ways, Gret tells her to look after both her children and be sure that they receive equal amounts of love. Although she didn't win in both her seasons, Gret definitely gained a lot of success than her own brother Gary.
Just to be clear, I would have crushed you all in the final challenge.
The best way I can describe Rosa Maria is that she's like a mom to everyone in Season 2, but there's something very shocking about her being a mother. She entered motherhood way too early. No one knows how it happened or who was the dad that started it all, not even Rosa herself. So she decided to fulfill the mother role for the baby. But she seemed glad that her daughter Sophia became part of her family. Looking after her was easy, but raising her was hard. She didn't have enough money, and she grew up in a dangerous place where people tried to normalize having weapons out in the streets. Rosa joined the show in hopes her daughter would live a bright future. She didn't play any devious games that earned everyone's sympathy. She wanted to stay true to herself as a caring mother, whether it be protecting her friends, giving some helpful advice, or preventing others from suffering. And she helped so many people during her stay. During the Girls Alliance with Leg and Maggie, she stand up to Maggie against Yule's ugly insults towards her height. While she did have to leave her old team due to Rhea's swap advantage, she assured the actress that she won't leave her behind, retrieve her perfume from Crystal, and let her be part of the Alliance. And when Hunter broke his promise involving his decision towards Allie and Tess, Rosa suggested simply reconcile with the girls and be happy where all 3 currently stand. Don't let one mistake take over his whole life. But since drama is inevitable on reality shows, Rosa was still fighting for life in the game. While it was kind to help Hunter with his problem, he was still a big threat to everyone's game, and they seemed to question Rosa's position overall. On top of that, she was framed for stealing everyone's stuff, and her immunity tone was taken from her, leaving her at 5th place on Disventure Camp. It was discovered that Rhea masterminded the plan to get herself farther, despite Rosa's loyalty towards her and the other girls. What's even alarming that Rosa gave Rhea a grim warning about winning the game and having the money all to herself.
You let the competition change you. You may win the million, but you will be alone again.
Wow, I never knew she had foreshadowing powers. Although she was unable to win, she still wants to continue her mother role for her daughter. She not only volunteered James when no one was rooting for him at the time, but she even decided to help Rhea escape the underwater cabins after what she did to her. Why? Because she wanted to show Sophia that no matter what, helping others is still the right thing. Rosa helped so many people, she never asked for anything in return. Well, James decided to help her by giving some of his prize money to Rosa so she can invest in Sophia's future. And guess what? Both of them are living happily ever after. Rosa Maria, the mother who knows best for everyone.
Let me help you this time.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Thank you, thank you, thank you!
Do you know what's underappreciated on game shows? It's the power of the brain. Sure, some may win competitions with their muscles, but the human mind is an important tool for our survival. I can't think of a better smart Alec from DC than, well, Alec. He's heavily known to be one of the 2 members from Season 1 that didn't originate from the beta version. Yet he still managed to be as popular as Tom, Greg, Fiore, and the rest. His role in the show is to be the smartest and serious member of the game, always one step ahead of everyone with wits and critical thinking. He loves to read to pass the time and ensures they're enough to guarantee his victory. But he would be heavily known by teaming up with one of the biggest villains in Season 1, Fiore. The truth is, Alec was a dad with a wife and son, but he wasn't really a good husband or father due to his endless arguments with his wife and even ignoring his own son when he needs him. The relationship drifted apart rapidly. He joined the show hoping if he gets the money and spend it on a relaxing trip with his family, things might turn out okay. A generous offer, but the damage has already been done. As for Fiore, she wasn't like his son Daniel or any other kid due to her above average knowledge. But Alec does protect her evil identity from others, help her win the zombie VR, and even save her life from the scorpions in the Mind Challenge. It was like they were an unstoppable duo capable of winning challenges endlessly. Until Fiore betrayed to guarantee her own wins but still failed. Ever since then, Alec was never the same again. After his wife Cheryl divorced him during his game time, he lost his home, job, and even passion for reading. Most of the time, he spent his time drinking to ease his sorrows. While he does decide to team up with Fiore again, he also brought in some new allies to increase his chances of winning, the Villains Alliance. He was the leader to the group, able to convince them to join forces to crown a villain winner, but he can still have his soft side. He became good friends with Connor and wanted to help him to get over his unhealthy relationship with Rhea. Deep inside, he still feels guilty for the harsh things he did to his old family, and when Rhea tries to play lovey-dovey with him to upset Connor without his consent, he can't help but feel violated over that strategy. It just reminded him of himself. While he didn't exactly get the money he needed, he does decide to turn his life around to find new love and a new pathway in his life thanks to Connor. He stopped drinking, he now serves as a tutor for Fiore from her Catholic school, and this time he's teaching her some more discipline. Whatever new chapter awaits him, Alex seems to learn his lesson he found by himself.
Cheaters never win, Fiore. At least, not against me.
You used to be cool!
Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this, check out these other videos, or feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more upcoming reviews and other projects. I'll see you soon.